Welcome to Unit 5 of Contemporary Mission Methodologies and Movements. You're now using the book Wind in the House of Islam by David Garrison. I think you're going to really enjoy this book as he describes his study of what God is doing among Muslims in most parts of the world. It's a very inspiring book, and I think a book that has great relevance for our course. I know that you will enjoy reading through this book. Unit 5 deals with spiritual warfare, certainly a term that is important for contemporary missions, and I'm glad to say it is a tool that is being used, a method that is being used more and more these days. We'll be looking at church planting movements later, but one thing we see in church planting movements is there's never been, according to David Garrison and others, a major church planting movement without intense prayer of some sort going into the establishment of that church planting movement. In this unit, we will look at strategic level spiritual warfare. It will be discussed in your book and in a couple of articles. Strategic level spiritual warfare is a good way to look at what's happening in spiritual warfare. Not every part of strategic level spiritual warfare is biblical, as you'll see in some of the articles. I think there are some aspects of it that are extra biblical and maybe not sound, but you'll enjoy it. There are some parts that are certainly important. We'll also look in this unit at prayer walking. Prayer walking is a tool that's been used for 25 years or so in the mission world, in international missions as well as missions here in the United States. I have used prayer walking in both areas in several different countries. In East Asia was my first opportunity to use prayer walking on a mission trip, and we had a wonderful experience with this. Saw God work through prayer walking to actually lead to the planting of a church. I've used prayer walking here in New Orleans many times, and we'll take groups to different places in the city, in particular the 7th Ward, where I've carried many students, and we've seen God move in some pretty amazing ways. Just for instance, I took a Christian missions class to the 7th Ward, an area that is known for its crime, and we divided into groups, and one group was finishing up. It was almost time to meet back at the van, and they saw a man just up the street, and one of the team members felt that they ought to see if they could pray for him. They yelled out at him and asked if they could pray for him. The man came running toward them. They didn't know why he was running, but he said, "What did you say?" And they said, "We'd like to pray for you." He said, "It's amazing that you would show up today." He said, "Today I was to move into my new house. I had my furniture loaded on my truck and was moving in, but my landlord came up to me and said, 'I'm sorry, you can't move in. I've rented it to somebody else.'" The man said he was so angry at his landlord that he had decided that he was going to kill him, and was making preparations to do that. And just before he left his house, he wondered if that was not the right thing to do. And he said he prayed and said, "God, if you don't want me to kill him, show me a sign." He walked out of his house and was walking down the street, and a seminary student called out to him, "Can we pray for you?" So they had a great conversation with him, prayed for him, and he did not kill his landlord. And this group stayed in touch with him for some time. So prayer walking is a great tool, and I hope you'll enjoy looking at that. I hope you'll enjoy this unit, and just remember, don't get behind in the class. Thank you so much.